So the Council of Europe is, the geographical Europe is 50 countries. 47 countries are members, so 3 are non-members. That's Belarus because of the death penalty. It's the Kosovo because of the statute, which is not recognized by everybody, and it's the Vatican. The Vatican is not a real, well, it's not a democracy. But all those 47 members, those 47 countries are members representing 820 million inhabitants. Now, I had the privilege of being the president of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. In the Parliamentary Assembly, there are national parliamentarians of those 47 member states, and I represented my country, Luxembourg, and I was elected as a president. And it's a 1-year term which can be renewed just once. So that's why I stayed for 2 years, and that was 2014 and 2015.
But does the recent withdrawal or lack of enthusiasm by Russia, but also some other member states for the values of human rights, does this surprise you?
Well, it doesn't really surprise me, but it worries me because it is not about the country, it's about the protection of the citizens of those 47 member states, where every citizen must have the guarantee to have the fundamental freedoms, to have freedom of expression, freedom of the media, freedom of association. And the Council of Europe is really the organization which guarantees those fundamental freedoms. Now we have to continue to cooperate in order to preserve those fundamental freedoms for all the citizens of Europe.
But how far do you think a compromise or cooperation with countries who do not keep up to the values of the Council of Europe could go on?
Well, we took sanctions against the delegation of Russia after the annexation of Crimea, because that's a clear violation of international law, and that's unacceptable. But we didn't exclude them from the Parliamentary Assembly. We suspended their voting rights, and then the Russian delegation decided by themselves to leave and even not to submit credentials later on. So they are no longer members for the time being of the Parliamentary Assembly, but that's their own decision. That was not the decision of the Parliamentary Assembly in 2014.
Are the contemporary leaders of the Western members of the Council of Europe and the members of the EU, are they ready, are they willing to stand for the values of human rights and democracy today?
Of course, everybody is ready to do so, and not only the Western. I don't want this distinction between Western countries and Eastern or Southeastern countries, or newer countries and older countries. All those countries, they accepted and ratified the Convention on Human Rights. So we are one unity, and there is no, sometimes I hear speeches where they say, well, the Western values and the traditional values. We have the same values, and those are enshrined in the Convention on Human Rights. And every government, every parliament has to respect it.
Well, Bulgaria, the country where Blue Link is based, recently dealt a great blow to one of the Council of Europe's conventions, the Istanbul Convention, which was proclaimed unconstitutional in Bulgaria, preventing it from being ratified by the EU in this. And the reason for this decision was a great level of manipulation in the country, saying that gender is an alien, hostile concept. So it seems countries like Bulgaria are now willing to withdraw from certain basic rights. What would be the response to this by the international entities?
Well, the international entities, of course, have to react, because the Istanbul Convention is to protect especially women, but not only women, from domestic violence. And that is about the Istanbul Convention, to make prevention and then to protect also, because women are mostly the victims of domestic violence, but also children. So you have to protect them. And if a country like Bulgaria is not protecting its own citizens, that is more than appalling. And I regret really that decision, which was taken under, it's the same like LGBTI rights. Then they say, well, there is the traditional family. Well, what is a traditional family? But if two men or two women fall in love with each other, why can't they have the same rights like all the others? They are not harming anybody. And that we have to keep that in mind, that we, despite all our differences, and we have differences, unfortunately we have differences, we are all equal, and we have to be considered as being on equal footing.